Hi, welcome back to High Frequency No Apologies. I'm Cora Olivos. I have a special guest, Alicia. If you want to do a quick introduction about
Hi, my
yourself.
name is Alicia Latouche. I am owner of Boss Beauty Studios. You can find me in Calgary. You can look me up on Facebook, Boss Beauty Studios. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, perfect. So I actually asked you here. I've been watching your journey a little bit, here and there on Facebook, and I just want to talk about like your spiritual awakenings and some of the cycles and lessons that you've been through. There's a lot of viewers out there. Well, not even just viewers. I think humanity itself doesn't really have. They don't have like a open conversation of like actual people talking about their story and like
Hmm.
exactly what they've been through.
hmm
So maybe if you want to give us a quick glimpse of your first spiritual awakening.
Yeah, I would say my very first spiritual awakening, I was reading this book called The Universe Has Your Back. It's by
Okay.
Gabrielle Bernstein. She's one of my favorite authors. And this is before addiction, so I am 7 years clean. But it was before addiction. And I remember, like, I was reading this book and I was out on my balcony. I was actually just in Saddle Ridge. And I went out in the morning to do yoga. And, like, she has some, like, meditation and prayer, and I was doing this yoga and my breath work was on point, and like I just felt this connectedness, like this oneness, like a higher self, but I didn't know what it was at the point because I didn't know what a higher power was, what a
Okay.
spiritual experience was. I had no idea. And like when I look back and I explain it to people, I'm like, I know that that's the moment when I was like, wow, there's something bigger than me, and it's like not even outside of me, it's like within me if I can activate it. And then I became addicted to drugs, and then I stuffed that experience like way down. And then when I got clean, that kind of came back up when I started going through step work. When I started going through step work with a sponsor, like I realized I always believed that there was something greater than me. I just didn't think it could help me get better. Like I didn't think it was there for me to help me. I just thought it was there, and I didn't feel like important enough for like anything like that that it would help me. Yeah, so that's kind of how that first kind of came to be for me.
Okay. So like when you were saying that you were figuring out, you had like basically this enlightenment of there's something much more greater. How did you like? How would I say it? Like, do you almost feel like that something came in for you to forget that understanding that you had at the time and led you a different way on purpose?
I wouldn't say like on purpose. I feel like I definitely like it's like I became unin tune with that feeling because like I chased that feeling. I was like, wow, this is an amazing feeling. I feel so connected. I felt like at one with nature. I felt like everything was just flowing and guiding. And then over time, like so it was like once I started to abuse my painkillers, I was like trying to chase that feeling, that connectedness, but I didn't know that like abusing painkillers was blocking me off from obtaining that feeling. So I felt like I couldn't get that same feeling while I was like abusing my painkillers and stuff. So I feel like I started to repress it by my actions and like my addiction, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then so what triggered you to, I guess, come out of addiction and to find that new path again?
I think I was just like I was sick and tired. I remember I was in Country Hills. I gave like the rest of my rent money to my buddy, and he smoked it all away and crack. And then, right? And then I was just like, and then buddy's like, yeah, we're gonna all get evicted. And then I was just like, you know what? I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, I'm so tired of like looking over my back, looking over my shoulder. My family didn't want anything to do with me. I was in and out of jail. Like the last couple of times my family wouldn't bail me out. Like it's like I really truly had no one anymore. And I just like got so sick and tired of myself, of like all the shit. And I was like, you know what? I looked at my fiance at the time and I was like, I'm gonna call the dope team. And he's like, for dope? And I'm like, no, the dope team comes and helps you like get to treatment or get to detox. And I was like, I don't know, but I need to get out of here. And I had this overwhelming feeling, and I tell people like this was like another spiritual awakening, or like a moment. Like I felt like there was like this voice in my head that was like, if you use again right now, like you're gonna die. And like that stuck with me, and it was so overwhelming. Like when I called them, like I like people brought dope around while I was waiting for the dope team to pick me up. I was like, no, I'm like I'm gonna die. I'm like I can't use. And so the dope team picked me up, and then they brought me to Alpha House, and I stayed on the mats for a handful of days. And like I waited until they could take me to run through.
I think that's so beautiful how you said that little voice inside my head told me if I'm getting used, I'm gonna die. And
Mhm.
now, do you feel like I don't know, like we've talked a little bit about about your spiritual gifts and stuff like that, but do you feel like that maybe your ancestors or your guides or your higher self basically gave you that warning?
100%. Like looking back now, I know that that was like my higher self or a guide. At the time, I didn't know what it was
Hmm.
because I hadn't really like I'd felt that feeling of connectedness of like a higher power or higher self, but I didn't know how to explain it. Right. In the book, it talks about like your inner ing, which is essentially like the equivalent of like your higher self or something like that. But um, yeah, I lost my train of thought there. So,
That's okay.
but
That's okay. And it's so crazy that you were just like talking, and then I was thinking something totally different. I was listening, but it was like I was listening somewhere else. To again, one of
yeah.
the voices. um. Okay. Well, I guess yeah. And so now, if you were to give any feedback to the viewers, if they ever hear a voice in their head, are they crazy?
No, definitely not. One thing that one of my old sponsors told me is like, I'm gonna try and remember this the best way I can. Like, so like a lot of people who like deal with addiction or different struggles or mental health, like sometimes people are like, and people have asked me, Alicia, like, how do you discern like whether it's your higher power, whether it's your mental health or your addiction? And it's like it can be any of those things. Like it really depends. But like once you get in tune with your higher self, like you can, I feel like you can kind of tell the difference of what is something that is good for you and encouraging. Like I feel like I can feel the difference within me. Like sometimes my like in the beginning my addiction could play tricks on me and it could kind of get into my head and be like, no, you need this to feel better, or like you're not going to be able to survive without this. But it's definitely like a different voice than like my higher self, if that makes sense.
No, it
it's
it
like
makes
it's like
sense for sure.
different tone or different energy or different frequency, right? um because a lot of people that do have concurrent disorders that struggle with mental health and addiction, like though, like, and until people kind of clear that channel, that can be some of the voices that they hear too. But I definitely don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's something to overlook too, but it does matter, I think, if you're open-minded enough.
Because I like how you said channel. You know what I mean? I believe, like, on my end, I believe that you know everybody has a shadow side. Everybody has an alter ego, not the ego, but an alter ego,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I believe that depending what kind of frequency anybody is on, anybody can jump in and tune in or work through,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I think that's a huge major factor that not a lot of individuals even can comprehend. Why? Because it's not talked about enough. And
Mm-hmm.
that even being, I guess, spiritual, or you know there's different like phases of life, and it's
100%.
we're brought up like not being taught that, even the spiritual side of things at all.
Excuse me, 100%. Like if it wasn't for my grandpa, who is very spiritually minded and open-minded when I was younger, I don't think I ever would have been so open to like hearing things differently or seeing things differently or like reading between the lines and like asking something else for help. I don't think I would have. And I found like growing up, there's like not many people who are very open minded. Like they would say, like, that's crazy, or like, that's woohoo stuff, or like whatever,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, oh, okay. So then like eventually in time, like I felt like I kind of just like tucked that away. But I found like once I got into recovery and I started to figure out who I was, and then I started to like meet other people. I've been blessed to like be surrounded by people who are more open-minded, so I do have those opportunities to have some more of those conversations. But it's definitely not something that I think a lot of people are like, it's talked about enough, and it's not normalized, so a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about it, or they have questions and they don't know who to ask, right? So it's good that like conversations like this are being had and people can
Yeah.
hear about it, because maybe somebody else can relate to hearing something or feeling something, right?
And that's what I think too. Like, even I like my viewers, and whoever's watching, to know that even with that being said, starting something and sharing your story, and you know raising your voice to actually share things that are happening, because everybody has a story. Everybody has something to start somewhere, and you don't even need money to even start nothing.
Mhm.
And I think life is all about like sharing the message.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter if it's this or that or this or that, but like everywhere you go, there's a message. Like even signs and synchronicities, and not everybody even understands that or even knows. Like, how could one know? Like, if you're seeing numbers, reoccurring numbers, and like same cars or same people or animals and stuff, like how could one even possibly start to fathom of like exactly what it is?
Mhm.
So, like, with that being said, do you still struggle with your signs and synchronicities?
I would say like when I'm going through a lot of different, like when I'm on the beam or like I'm open, like my channel's more open, I will have those synchronicities and I will have those like God shots. Like I will have like deja vu. I will have deja vu continuously. I will feel like I've already been there, or like I will see the same numbers, the same colors of cars, like little different things like hummingbirds is like something big for me. So like when I'm like it got like when I'm in tune, I will see hummingbirds everywhere. But when I'm not, I will not get deja vu. I will not get those synchronicities. I won't get those numbers. And usually I know I'm like being blocked off somewhere. So for me, it's usually like an alignment thing. If I'm in the right place and I'm open minded, like spiritually, and I'm not shut off by like fear or worry and like all these other like calamities that come up with like colonizing. How do you say it? Colonization.
I
Or
think so.
yeah, like
Yeah.
just like society these days, it's like then I don't usually get them.
Okay. So yeah, like when you have deja vu, is it basically like, is it almost like a remembrance of this is the path you're supposed to be on?
So this is something that I love to talk to people about deja vu. I'm like, what does it mean? Like I always like to hear what it means to different people. Um, because like for me, it feels like somewhere familiar or like I've already been there. So I can't say exactly. Maybe it's something I've already been in another dimension, or maybe it's something that I've experienced in a past life or something. But it does feel like I'm on the right path,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, because
What
I
does it
think
mean to you?
um deja vu. I think it's like, for me, it's happened in the past, and I'm in this life on Earth doing the same thing,
Hmm.
but it's like a remembrance of this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
And I think when I don't get signs or synchronicities, I feel like my team wants me to sit and wait and be patient,
Hmm.
because I find like when I first had my spiritual awakening, I was like, the high of it was like, oh, like
Hmm.
let's like what next, But then even before I could even figure out what like 111 or 333 or
Hmm.
numbers like that. But I think yeah, yeah, it's a remembrance.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna, yeah, remembrance. So now when I say remembrance, do you know who you are?
Like my soul, my spirit.
Anything? Yeah, much. Yeah.
Um, I feel like I don't know if I could say I know who I am. Like I know what my purpose is, but I'm open to whatever that is. Like I just know my purpose is to help other people, and like I feel like during my journey, there's been different times and places I've known exactly what that looks like, and right now I'm at a point where like I don't know exactly what that looks like. Like I was explaining, I feel like I'm in an in between right now, where like my old life was just shed, and there's so many things that like I spent 7 years building up, and now that's kind of all being like stripped away. But I'm not fearful. Like it's a little uncomfortable, but I know that I'm growing through it. So I don't really know exactly right now, because I think I'm in the middle of like a pivot. I know that my purpose is to still help people, but I don't know exactly what that looks like. If you were to ask me like 8 months ago, I would give you a totally different answer than I am right now, though.
Well, that's growth. And
Yeah.
I think that's the most fucking beautiful thing anybody could ever say. You know what I mean? It's like, you even know yourself that you're growing
Mm-hmm.
in the uncomfort. I think we talked about this the other day too. If you're sitting in comfort, you're, I guess, stagnant and doing the same thing you
Yeah.
were, right? And
100%.
that's the thing. Like, even when seasons come around, everything has to change.
Mm-hmm.
4 times a year we have to change. Is it 4? Yeah, 4 times
I'm
a
getting
year.
all for right now.
Right? It's, you know what I mean? That they're not, they're not gonna. Your team's not gonna give you what you can't handle, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about character development, and I think what I meant by is like when I ask you, who are you? Are you a star seed? Are you a healer? Are you from the Anunnaki? Are you like a Pleiadian or like?
I would say like I definitely feel like I'm a teacher healer, but I wouldn't know anything else past that yet. But that's something still like I think it will come to me in time.
Okay.
Hmm.
Does it make you nervous when you think about anything?
Mm, I would say like a little bit nervous like about finding out about like my dad dying kind of thing, but I also have like a different perspective. I feel like it's not nervousness as much for me, it's more nervousness for like the people in and around me than myself. Like I know it would be uncomfortable, but I don't believe like people necessarily die, like their vessels die. Like I read this really good book called The Seed of the Soul that my old sponsor gave to me, and like I believe like that their energy stays, and like yeah, so yeah, I would say that that would be the biggest thing. Things that used to make me nervous, like fear, things not working out, like my business, for example, like how it was on a particular trajectory and then how it changed, like that would make me really nervous before. But now I just like know and trust that I'll be okay no matter what. And I have no idea what that looks like. And I think that's a big part of trusting the plan
Oh, I
and
think
being
that's so
connected.
beautiful.
And so now not as much things make me nervous. Like I could hear really, really bad news and I'll be like, okay, this is what we're dealing with today.
It's almost like, yeah, it's supposed to happen like this. It's already written. Like, do you
Yeah.
think like that? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's beautiful. It's, not everybody has that faith. They'll be like, oh my God, why me?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But it's like not why me, it's for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even rejection is basically, how do they say it? God's protection.
Yeah.
But
100%.
it's
I do believe that too. And I think that was a big different, like a big pivotal point on my spiritual journey is like not just like God or like a higher self isn't just a theory. Like it's something that like I embody. Like I trust that it's not just a belief, right? Um, and to have complete faith is something that I don't think a lot of people have. A lot of people are like, how aren't you more upset about your dad and like different things and whatever else is going on in your life? I'm like, I don't know, this is just like what's meant to happen. So there's no point being like so bent out of shape. Like it's okay for me to feel my feelings and be upset or to cry about it, but like I accept it and like there's some bigger reason behind it, and I'm not big enough to know that right now.
I love that right now. And you said I'm not big enough, but right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. And I think, the outside world always tries to come in and try influence us in ways that we not always think or feel, that how, the whole society, the whole humanity think and feel, right? And it's like
Mhm.
it's a little bit different sometimes when, you know, you or I, we have that different lens. So we kind of understand more deeply and more in depth, right? Like even individuals passing away, it's like nobody really dies. Nobody
Mhm.
ever dies. Just the vessel, the meat sack that's borrowed. That's
Mhm.
our avatar. Just, you know what I mean. This is just borrowed.
Mhm.
And I think it's. And I noticed one thing actually. I just learned in therapy. Was it yesterday? And I learned in therapy yesterday that I try to help other individuals see or feel how I see. Life doesn't really work like that. It's like everybody has to endure their own trials and tribulations before
Mhm.
they can even reach that pivot point.
Mhm.
And it sucks, but
That's relatable. I've definitely done that. My same at the same, and like one of my old mentors would be like, you have to allow people the dignity of their own experience. And sometimes it's like I want to shake people and be like, don't
right.
you know there's a different way? But it's like sometimes that's not their journey. But even just being open and like talking about this might plant the seed. And maybe you are part of their journey, but their journey looks a little different. And it's like sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. And like some areas, for example, that you might grow and catch on really quickly
Hmm.
might be really slow for me, and it might be the opposite, right? So it's like we never really know because everybody's so different, like what their journey is.
Yeah.
So we can't rush their healing too, because that's not going to be their healing. Then that's us just like
Trying to
giving,
project ours onto theirs, and
yeah, and like
yeah,
essentially playing God, right?
yeah, yeah, and it's the whole shaky thing. It's like, come on, wake up, people, come
Right?
on.
Yep.
But I do know, and I realize ever since yesterday that not everybody is meant to wake up in
Hmm.
this lifetime, and it's like,
Yeah, I've definitely struggled with that,
yeah,
like with some of my family members, like, or like some of my close friends, and I'm like, to me, like, there's just deeper meaning behind things, and some people like just it's not, and it's like I thought that everybody else should. I'm like, don't you know? And it's like now I accept like that might just not be their path, and like, and that's okay.
so like when you come in contact with individuals, do you feel that you can talk about certain things and then some others that you can't?
Um, well, now I really don't give a fuck, so I talk about whatever I
Oh,
want,
that's
wherever
good.
I
Yeah,
want,
I
and
love it.
like, and if somebody doesn't like it, then I'm like, oh, you're definitely not my person. But I find like a lot of the times, because I am so open, it is usually like 90% received well, because like I don't find like people are very authentic these days. People
Yeah.
don't say what might be on the verge of like taboo or like, kind of things. So like I find a lot of people do open up, and the people who don't, I find like, yeah, they're like really closed up, and they haven't been opened enough. They're not cracked open enough.
Yeah, everyone's like an onion, and everybody just wants to stay inside.
Yeah.
This is what I think, and I think again, it's like it has everything to do with fear,
Hmm.
and it's like,
Fear. I believe fear, and also like I don't know. This one book was explaining it, but I don't think I do a good job reiterating it. But like some people will live in the fifth dimension, and some people are just like two and three dimensional beings, and like that's not our job to make them be a fifth dimensional person. Like some people have these skills and these abilities, this fifth sense, but some people are so grounded in like taste, smell, whatever, like whatever grounds them, or like whatever, and like those people just won't get to that fifth dimension. And like I think that was in the Seed of the Soul. I'll double check, and like I'll get back to you on that one. But
mm,
that was
okay,
like really helpful for me to kind of like I feel like some of these things that we're talking about, it helped me see like, yeah, some people are just like they're not there yet. Maybe like some of their past life lessons they haven't learned or accepted either. And like sometimes if people haven't learned their past life lessons, like they're stuck in the in between, and like they can't, their soul, their spirit can't really progress. And if they can't progress and learn those lessons, they don't get to be that fifth dimensional person.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. So, what's one lesson that you struggled with?
Friendships, relationships, wanting to bring people to the top with me, or to bring people with me in general. Because like I always thought like that would be better. Like, don't you want to do that with your friends and your family, and like bring people with you? Isn't it better to win and not be alone, right? But the thing is, like, I had to understand and like remind myself that not everybody is there, and like that's been a hard one, especially like those relationships with friendships and like business. Those have like definitely affected me tremendously. Like today, like specifically today, I'm dealing with some of those repercussions of that in my life, like financially, business wise, and whatever. And like some people might look at it as failure, but I don't look at it as failure, because I've learned so many lessons. It just looks like it's like a tower moment where everything's crashing down so something new can be rebuilt.
Yeah, that's one thing I too also struggled with is like friendships. I'm like, oh, everybody can come with me. Yeah, we're gonna go all the way to the top. Da, da, da. Yeah, no,
Yep.
it doesn't work out like that. And I think now, I think as of go say 2 months ago, 2 months ago, no, April 23rd, I'm gonna go with. It's like I come into people's lives to be a mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like not anyone that comes in your life is not meant to stay forever. Only a chapter or a page,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only you can. For myself, it was like planting those seeds, but I didn't think like that before that. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, oh my god, I got a new friend, like, like, but it's not that.
Yeah, and everybody will go through those seasons, and like that's why it's really important to not hold on to like those friendships. Like I have a lot of really good friendships where maybe we'll talk lots for 3 months, and then like there'll be a couple months, or like maybe even 6 months, maybe even a bit. Like we might talk in passing, but that friendship relationship isn't as in depth. But then maybe we come back around because like maybe we've went through some lessons, and we can come back around for another season or another lesson.
Mm.
But that was a big thing that also helped me um, not hold on to things, and like understand that everyone has their own healing journey. Like even the bestest of best friends are gonna go through like the ups and the downs and life's lessons and stuff. And if not, then it's probably a little bit concerning because are you actually even learning your lessons and stuff yourself, or are you being codependent with somebody?
Right. I think that's the crazy again. Like, how would one even know that they're going through a lesson and a cycle and like how are they gonna like how would you if you were to give any advice, how would you give advice to them and say this is how you would know that you're going through a lesson or a cycle?
hmm. I think for me to to realize if I'm going through a lesson or a cycle, like I have to be open minded enough, and I have to talk to other people who have already went for who are further ahead and who have learned these lessons.
Your
Excuse me.
throat chakra is just
Yeah.
getting blocked.
And all my phlegm. um
Hmm.
and I would say that yeah, for me to realize like the patterns and lessons, I have to do inventory. I have to like fearlessly search within myself and be honest with myself and be like, is this situation similar to something else I've been through? Did I learn that lesson? Did I not learn that lesson? Like for me, step work, like I've been through like counseling and psychologists and many things before, and I've learned some little things. But for me, the thing that really helped me was like doing the steps, I think, because there was a spiritual aspect, and then there was the inventory, and like sitting down and going through my life with somebody and seeing like my resentments and my fears and my sex conduct, and getting a list of my patterns of defects, and like um it helped me become more aware. And like I think it's only when we're aware of ourselves that we can actually see those patterns and stuff, because like if you're not aware of it, you're not going to see it.
I like that. I like that. That's beautiful. Any questions for me?
mm.
Oh, I love questions. I can go on and on.
What is your biggest hope in doing this podcast?
My biggest hope is to plant seeds and to show other individuals like I could go sit in a studio, pay money to go sit there, but it's not. I feel like it's not a safe space. It's not comfortable. Like you know what I mean. It almost feels like more of like a job interview,
Yeah.
right? And so we're sitting here, you know what I mean? Like, but I want to help plant those seeds for other individuals so they can start again, understand that, awareness, cycles, like spiritual awakenings that everybody goes through. The majority of the population goes through it and they just don't know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't go to a psychologist or a counselor and be like, this is what's happening, especially when you have those little narrators inside your head. And if you're gonna go seek help, they're gonna be like, oh, there we go, diagnose.
Yeah.
That's a diagnosis right there. And it's not it's, it's not fair, but it's the way the government is, kind of thing, if that
Yep.
makes sense.
That.
And it's, I want to be able to give back how I never had, going through all my awakenings and my dark night of the souls and all these activating things within my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have help in the physical, it was only the spiritual. So it's like basically I would go to sleep, travel, all the information I got, if I remembered in the morning, that would be all the information.
So how did you know when you first astral traveled and going to different dimensions?
How
Like
or when?
how did you know, and like what did that look like?
Well, I think it's been like my whole life thing, but I finally just had the realization about in 2023 that this is what's happening. I'm here on earth, but I'm going somewhere else. And it's like different times and dimensions, like past, present, and future.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've met people back a couple years ago that I never even met, but I've seen them before.
Mhm.
And it's like I think it's scary at first, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Obviously, if you're going to like different places that light beings are not supposed to be, but I do work everywhere, not only in the physical.
Mhm.
I think was that an answer
Yep.
to your question? Okay, I kind of drifted off there a little bit. Yeah, it's different though. It's very very different. It's draining too though. But I do like a lot of spiritual baths, and I sleep with a lot of protection, and also I have a lot of spiritual protection around me 24/7.
Mhm.
So it's a whole different thing. Have you astral projected before?
I have.
And
I remember like the first time I was really scared and I talked to my grandpa and he's like, "Oh no, this is a good thing." And I was like, "Okay, what do I do with it?" And he's like, "You'll figure it out." And that's all he said to me. And I was like, "Okay." And then he passed away. And like now I would say like when I feel connected and like um yeah, it can be very draining. Sometimes it can be very like heartwarming though, to just like I think it like helped my spirit know that there is something greater and like that it is endless. So
yeah,
that kind of helped me accept that like it doesn't really matter what happens here on earth, right? Like whether your business goes well or you can pay your bills or like this or that, whatever, like kind of to me like dumb superficial stuff comes up, it doesn't really matter. It matters who you are inside, because like that's the part of you that can go anywhere, is like your essence, your soul, right?
mm, I like that.
Your Mercedes Benz isn't gonna astral travel with you. You just pull up.
Yeah, yeah, I like that for sure. So do you do it now?
I haven't in a while, I would say. I feel like I've been blocked off though for a bit, and I feel like things are just kind of coming back to me now that I'm not feeling so blocked off.
Creak your chicken. Your chicken.
Yeah, 31, 32.
That's okay. But yeah,
Yeah, I feel like things are just starting to come back, like the synchronicity is the deja vu's, and that's how I know that like I'm in the right place and stuff. And I feel like it's a good thing though that I wasn't able to or feeling as connected then, because I think like I was more susceptible to like negative things and stuff. So I think it was like a protection in a way, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask you that. Do you think that's your spirit or your soul, basically, um, protecting you?
Yeah, that's what I feel like when I'm reflecting on it, because like no one else has asked me this question. I feel like that would be what the difference is. Yeah.
So if you're struggling to have something in your life, how do you bring it? Do you manifest?
Yes. Manifestation, yes. And that was something that I was blocked off for a bit because I didn't believe that I was worthy of receiving, but I didn't realize that I didn't think I was worthy of receiving it. I was like
Mm.
wondering why I'm doing all these things and it worked before, and then I'm like, why aren't these things coming? And it's because like yeah, I really didn't believe that I was worth it. So if I don't believe I'm worth it, like why is the universe gonna give me that, right?
Mm. Do you do affirmations?
Yep.
Yeah. What's 3 affirmations for yourself?
I'm worthy, I am love, and the love I'm seeking is seeking me.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful. I love that for sure. So how do you manifest?
For me, like it can be visualization, doing a vision board. Actually, like years ago, my girlfriend and I during COVID, we started this vision board business because we were like going around during COVID to try and be productive, and it was like so hard to get all the magazines and different things. So we kind of created like this template and like looked up a lot of science behind like vision boards and like the importance of the subconscious, and like so like really thinking about what it is that you want and like matching your frequency with what it would be like to have that or to experience that, right? But that's where I was feeling blocked off. Like I'm doing all these things but something just wasn't quite feeling right. um so yeah, it can be like visualization, prayers, meditation, like talking to, listening. It could be like, yeah, there's so many different tools that I can use. I would say like visualization would be one of the biggest ones right now, paired with meditation of like embodying it.
Do you ever use Your sacral energy.
No,
That's one of the fastest way to.
I don't know about it.
Basically, how would you say? Instead of being sexually active with another individual, you just do it yourself.
hmm
But basically, like touching your body and actually feeling your body and stuff like that, right? And it's that sensual feeling that a divine feminine can give herself, right?
hmm
And I think it's I think it's one of the most powerful ways, other than sharing it with another counterpart. God only knows what they're fucking thinking about. Well,
hmm Yeah, no, that's true.
That's what I think, right? And it's not every. I actually just brought it up to my partner, and he was like, "How dare you be thinking about things?" Well, whatever. I'm like, "Well, what? Like what?" Like I don't know, like and it's like now he started like like again, I believe that everybody deserves to be activated in any kind of way. It doesn't matter what it is. If they're willing and being like aware and tuning in, then they can use that as at their own will, right?
Mhm.
That's what I believe. And some people are like, oh my god,
That's cool. Yeah, I've never heard of that actually.
yeah. And it's like, and then again, it's like with the visualization, and because it gets all that power rises through your spine, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Have you ever gone through a dark night of the soul?
I maybe if you could explain a little bit
A
about
dark night of the soul is like a ego death, a rebirth. Like it like picks apart at your ego.
I feel like that's what I've just been going through.
Okay, and it
Yeah,
reshapes it, and
yeah,
almost
yeah.
like
It was
yeah,
like,
it's
so
heavy.
yeah, so it was like, very involved in the recovery community, helping out a lot of people. I had a very successful business, all these things and stuff. And then like it was like slowly different things started to get picked apart, right? Like I ended up in this lawsuit for this laser that I bought from somebody, and like there's all these things with that, and then with my business and all these lessons with people and places and things, and like I thought that I had to keep going with this business because I built it, and there's like pride and ego in there,
Hmm.
and then like also with my family and stuff, and then it all kind of started going. Like at first, like I remember talking to one of my mentors, I'm like, I don't know if I'm still supposed to keep doing this. I'm like, I kind of feel like something's pulling me in a different way, but like I didn't have an answer 100%. And I don't act unless I have like 100% answer, because I'll meditate on something until I know for sure. And I'm like, I didn't have my answer yet. So I kept going, and like I kept keep entertaining friendships and like people who had harmed me before. And like there's so many lessons involved in like this past 2 years. I'll say these past 2 years and specifically that have been like picking me apart in so many ways. Like now I really just I don't care. Like not don't care in a
Yeah.
bad way. It's like I accept like whatever. Like I cannot have a home or not have a business or not have it look a certain way, and I really don't care how it looks to anyone, because like to a lot of people, and I've experienced like a lot of people who are very jealous or hateful or vengeful or spiteful, and like before I was like, oh, they're gonna think that I'm failing or this and that. Like now I don't care. Like before it would have really upset me, and like I would have fought with it with my holding on to my ego, and now I accept it.
Yeah.
And like yeah, I'm at a totally different place. Everyone's like and my friends that like have seen me throughout this are like, you seem so much more at peace now. And they're like,
Hmm.
they can see a shift. Like I couldn't see it at first. I just felt like everything was like being removed from my life. um but like I do feel like there's a deeper reason for it, and I feel like especially right now, just finding out about my dad's health and different things, I'm like, I feel like this all helps so I can like be in the best place to support my family, to be there for my dad, and like to actually like be be happy and at peace without any of this stuff. So like when I do decide whatever endeavor I want to move forward with, I'm going to be able to take all these lessons with people, with places, with things, with business, and do something else. And I don't feel like I'm going to have that same pride, that same ego,
Mm.
anything like that. Like
Yeah.
it kind of like it's like a spiritual awakening and like a mental and emotional rearrangement of my insides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like dark night of the soul, and like it just it like creeps up, and it's like it picks, just like almost like a kundalini awakening, but it's not. That one's way more intense, but it's like, yeah, so it's almost like, yeah, it's picking apart up and then opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're being pulled on like different all directions
Mm-hmm.
almost at one time. But it's like, yeah, and it's so different and unique how we don't even see the shift. We can feel it, but we don't, like, if we're not, again, if we're not understanding, or we're over here thinking that we're not even gonna be able to witness the shift until it's done,
Yeah,
or until it's forced, not
and
until it's done,
I
until
feel
it's
like if
forced.
I would have experienced what I am now before having spiritual awakening, I probably would have felt like this is happening to me. Like, why is this happening? The world is against me, all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Whereas now, like, everyone's like, oh, like, how do you feel about this? I'm like, I'm okay. And they're like, I'm like, it was uncomfortable and it was painful, but like, these are the lessons. And they're like, what the heck? Like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it took me a long time to learn the lessons with relationships. That's my biggest thing with people, with friendships. And it was very painful, but like, I could tell the last time that something recently happened, this would have like destroyed me before, and like, I just accepted it, and I accepted it with grace and ease, which is something that
That's
would have
beautiful.
not happened. Like, I would have fought it, I would have held on to it, I would have tried to like held on to that friendship, that relationship, and now I'm just like, that's okay. And I don't even wish this person any ill will. I'm like, I hope they figure out whatever lessons are on their journey.
Yeah, I think, with that, friendships or relationships or whatever, it's sometimes my ego will be like, oh, fuck them, blah, blah, blah. But now it's like I send them like character development and awareness and love and light. You know what I mean? Like, it's the faster, not the faster the better, but it's almost like I feel like individuals know and have the awareness and whatnot, but they just sweep it under the rug. And
Mm-hmm.
it's more of a comfort thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like, "Oh, fine, let me send you some stuff
Mm-hmm.
from my side." You know what I mean? Yeah, I just think I think life is a beautiful journey for sure. It's, it's a unique thing. If you could give the viewers any advice, what would you want to give them on anything?
On anything, I would say to listen, because there's always clues and signals of things, but like, you have to listen. And it's like, one of the biggest things I learned was like, adding prayer and meditation together, develop that relationship with a higher power, or like your higher self, or whatever that is. Like, if I want to build a relationship with you, I can't just talk to you all the time and tune you out. Like, I'm not going to build a relationship. And like, if you want intuitive thoughts and directions, or anything like that, you do have to listen. And like, listening doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. It can be totally different, right? It could be like meditation, or it could be while you're cleaning, or it might come in little voices, or it might come in like little signs or little things. But like, if you listen, it will be there. And like, this is possible for any single person, like, but you have to be open enough, and you have to seek it. And if you don't seek it and you're scared of it, like, you're not going to see it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree
And
100%.
care more about people's lives and their feelings. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned too. And like, some people don't take that too well, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I have to care more about people's lives and their feelings, because I was a big people pleaser and a fixer before. So I'd
Yeah.
always want to like rescue people. And I realized like, that's not my place. Like, I have to allow people the dignity of their own experience. And like, that's also helped me let go of a lot of those relationships and those friendships where I was maybe pulling, or like trying to control, or
Yeah.
thinking I know better. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think maybe that's a wrap now. If you like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to hear about other topics. Love and light.